How's it going, everyone? Matt, Leighton, Shawn Battle. Welcome back to another real estate video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how you can save the most amount of money when you're buying a house. You know, you're literally going to get a mortgage for like $300,000, $400,000, like $500,000. But we're here to help you save as much money as possible. We got a list of about 10 items that we're going to go through that will help you save the most cash possible. Shawn, what's going on, man?
Oh, it was a good week. I put a property back on the market. It came off the market in Windsor Plaza. It came off because there was a lawsuit in the building. And we had gotten that property on the or we got it under contract without ever hitting the market.
Yeah.
So I was excited to put it back in the market because the market has kind of just exploded since then. So I was like, yeah, pull out. Let's do this, right? So I put it back on the market, did an open house. I had tons of people through the open house, ended up getting 6 offers, and it went higher than what we had before.
6 offers?
Yeah, 2
Wow.
cash offers. So, I mean, the problem is there's low inventory, but it's good for the sellers right now. It's awesome.
Good for the sellers. Yeah, I have a listing under contract, and speaking of lawsuits, I had to familiarize myself with 2 lawsuits, Horton v. Davis, circa 2002, and Daly v. Gulick Group, circa 2018, talking about incomplete HOA packages. So basically what's happening is we delivered the HOA package, they say that it was incomplete, and now they're saying they get an extension of time. So I'm getting very in-depth on HOA packages and delivery, but that's all gonna shake out very shortly. So
what'd you learn from that, though?
I actually learned a lot. So it doesn't really matter what is in the HOA package or what is not in the HOA package. So you can literally have, like, you can just send over one page and say, hey, these are the condo docs, and that clock will start ticking then. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
Virginia is a buyer beware state, Commonwealth. So once you get those documents, clock starts ticking.
And it's 72 hours.
72
It's not
hours.
3 days,
not
it's 72
days.
hours. So
Yeah.
remember that. Anyways.
All right, so how are you going to go about saving the most amount of money when you are buying real estate, especially in such a hot market where you're getting 6 offers on a listing, it's escalating, all cash over. So let's go through about 10 different ways, maybe more, maybe less, about how to save the most money as possible. I'm going to start it off with number 1, and that is a home warranty. Now, I'm going to go in a slightly different direction.
Yeah, all right.
Home warranties are about $500, and you might be thinking to yourself, all right, well, what is a home warranty? It protects the systems of the property, so think HVAC, you know, refrigerator, microwave, and you can buy it for about $500, and it shows up on the settlement statement. I'm going to say that it's $500 that is a waste of money. I'm going to go the other direction. I don't think home warranties are worth it. I think it's an extra line item. And I think if you do the home inspection and see that there are repairs needed, well, you're going to negotiate those repairs anyways instead of paying an extra $500 for a home warranty.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't buy one whenever I bought my house. They're only good for a year, then you re-extend and extend and extend, and you've got to use those people, that home warranty policy's people, to come out and fix the problem. And, you know, there are those rare instances where things just go crazy, but for the most part, they're not used. I mean, you won't use it in that first year. I didn't use, nothing went wrong in my first year, so save the money maybe and, you know.
That's number 1 on my list. What do you got on your list?
Number 1 on my list was pretty obvious, but hire a local expert. A local person, a local agent that knows the market. I mean, listen, if I love Miami, right? If I was going to Miami, I wouldn't pretend to know what different condo buildings are worth or anything like that. So find the local expert that knows everything about the neighborhoods, the buildings, because you know what? You walk down the street, one building is getting a certain price per square foot, the other is getting a totally different price per square foot. So if you're just a layman just coming into the market and you say, hey, that one was $800,000, why wouldn't I pay $800,000 for this? Wrong way to go about it. Find the local experts that know what they're talking about, and that'll save you a lot of money.
Yeah, I think that's especially true with Amazon. You know, our phones started blowing up with all these out-of-town investors like, oh, I'm from California, I have a lot of money, I'll just buy whatever. It's like, well, you're going to buy those Crystal City condos that are now like $40,000 overpriced. And wow, you own in Crystal City, but you also bought at like an extreme peak of the Amazon market. So maybe a double-edged sword.
And if you think about it, you buy in South Arlington, doesn't get the same price per square foot that North Arlington does. So, somebody just coming in and say, I bought in Arlington, not knowing, two totally complete different areas. So.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, next on the list of how to save money when you buy real estate, I'm going with go after properties that are sitting on the market, guys. There's not a lot of inventory out there. Everyone's waiting and waiting and waiting. Well, check out those properties that are sitting on the market. There's one in my building. It was at $575. Now it's at $565. Then it went to $555. Guys, it's now at $540. They're like dropping the price $10K like every single month. It's like
I saw that.
If you wait like a couple of weeks, it's gonna be like $400,000. It's ridiculous.
This is the prime property to go after right now, and this kind of goes back into my next thing. But you go after it. If it's vacant, close quickly.
Yeah.
You throw them a lowball offer and you close as quickly as you can. It takes all of that angst out of it for the seller, because right now you can tell they're starting to go a little crazy.
Yeah.
If they're dropping every week, there's something wrong there. They need to get rid of it. That's the one you go after. Lowball it, settle quickly.
Pro tip, homes that are either vacant or have a little baby-like room, like strollers and things of that nature, they are the most motivated. Go after those properties that are vacant or clearly they're outgrowing the space.
Yep.
All right, you're up next.
All right, buy in the right season. If your goal is to save money when you're buying real estate, buy in the right season. Every city is going to have a better opportunity at different seasons. So Arlington, the best market to buy in is when things are slow. It's in the late fall and winter. That's the best time to save money. Yes, it doesn't have the pool of listings out there, but at the same time, you can get really good deals. And 3 months later, you can sell that thing for a lot more money. It's insane the difference between winter and spring. So, if you're buying in Florida, I don't know what it is there, but I would think, all right, summer's probably an awesome time to buy because it's so dang hot.
Yeah,
everybody's going in the winter to go on vacation and buy down there. So know what season is the right season to purchase.
Yeah, winter is just an incredible season to purchase. Everyone is always like, all right, I'm going to wait till spring and summer. Well, that's what everyone's doing. And if you do what everyone's doing in real estate, you're probably going to be paying some more money. So that off season, that Halloween to Christmas season is prime opportunity. Are the best properties going to be on the market? Probably not. But it's the best opportunity to save you money and have as little competition going after those properties as possible.
But the thing is, people get relocated all the time. So yeah, the goal is to always wait for spring market as a seller. But I mean, people go for job relocations all the time. They're always going to pop up. That's the best time to get the deal.
Boom. All right, next on the list of how to save the most money as possible is ask for seller subsidies. Now, you can do this one of two ways, asking for closing costs. You can just flat out, put your offer in and then ask for closing costs. Or what you can do, and what I like to do sometimes, is bump up the sales price. So if a property is $500,000, bump it up to like $505,000 and then ask for like $5,000 in closing costs. That way the seller is still getting that net price. You're getting the subsidies. Now sometimes you have to watch out for the appraisal because the appraiser is going to see that subsidy. But I think we haven't had many issues. I know you were talking about an appraisal issue, but if you ask for seller subsidy and bump up the sales price, I think you can appease the seller, but also get some closing costs as well.
Yeah, and the idea behind this is saving your cash, right? So a lot of people don't want to you're putting 20% down, you don't want to put more, your closing costs are going to be $10,000, $12,000, including prepaids. So you're putting 20%, then another $10,000 or $12,000, depending on the price of the property and where you're at. So the idea is, I'll build that into the contract so I don't have to come up with that $10,000 or $12,000, and therefore saving you all the cash. Keep it in your account.
Don't sleep on seller subsidies, guys.
If you can do it, if the market's taking them,
It's very hard to do in a hot market. Like if you did a seller subsidy on a property that like comes out now, it's like, dude, what are you doing? Like amateur hour. But it's for those properties that have been sitting on the market for a little bit.
That's right.
All right, what do you got?
On a different side of things, lending, you're going to spend so much in interest, right? You do a 30-year note, amortized over 30 years, you're paying so much in interest. So if you can afford it, and if you're buying in an area that is cheaper, that can, make sense of this, do a 15-year note. You're going to save, in some instances, hundreds of thousands of dollars over that time frame.
Wow.
Yeah, you do a 15 to 30. You think about how much interest you're paying over a 30-year period, and then your payment's going to be a lot higher. But it hurts for the 15 years, but then you're done and you just saved hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Is that something where you'd be living in the property for all 15 years, you'd rent it out, or you'd move
It really
after
depends
like
on the market.
7 years? Or
Yeah,
something
it really
like that?
depends on the market you're in. If you're going to live in it and you can afford to pay that much for 15 years, do it. If buying that property and you're going to rent it out, then it might not make sense because you're not covering that nut every month. Yeah. But I don't know. If I could do it, I would.
Yeah.
I can't right
now. Yeah. No, I love it. That's like a unique way that not many people are thinking of.
Right. So, I mean, there's, again, hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest. Man, that hurts.
Yeah. So. No one likes paying that interest. All right, next on the list here is negotiating repairs. Now, when you have the home inspection, obviously that is the prime opportunity to negotiate repairs. But a lot of times in a competitive market, you need to waive the contingency or do it for informational purposes, void-only purposes. Now, what's super cool, this is kind of like a dark hat, like, smash glass if emergency type of deal is you can still repair if it's a void-only contract. You can still ask for repairs. There's nothing that says you can't ask for repairs. So one thing to do, and I did a video about this recently, is do the home inspection for void-only purposes. Then if a lot comes up, just say, hey, listen, don't threaten them, but just say, hey, listen, we've got some nervous buyers. The buyers are thinking about dropping out. Is there anything we can do about this rusty water heater? Maybe, $3,000 credit or something of that. So I think negotiating repairs is a very good opportunity to save you some cash right at closing.
Yeah, and a lot of times I go towards that. When I negotiate a home inspection, I'm usually wanting to give cash rather than, or get cash rather than have somebody else repair it, because on the listing side, that buyer goes through the property and does their final walkthrough. They're always going to find something. And then it comes down to the settlement table where people are arguing over little things. It's never good. So cash is the easiest way to do it. If you're on the buyer side, do the repairs yourself or don't do them at all, but take the cash.
Yeah, cash is king. Always try to do cash instead of repairs. At least that's what I like.
Yeah.
All right, next on the list and finally is walk away from the deal. If the timing's not right, walk away. If it's just not the right house or you don't want to escalate your price, walk away. But also the reason I put this in is because I think that if you have the mindset of walking away from the deal, you're also going to be able to negotiate stronger. So it's not something like where I call up my buyer and say, oh, you're gonna have to pay list price, you walk away. I'm not really saying that. I'm saying, oh, if the seller is being unreasonable or if they're not allowing you to do repairs or something like that, at that point, just have that mindset of being okay with walking away and not getting emotionally attached to the purchase.
Yeah, and that brings up the mindset of the seller as well. Once they lose that deal, man, it throws them for a loop a lot of times, and they're like, oh my gosh, I just lost this deal. A lot of times you can come back in a couple months or a couple weeks and get a better price, if that's in your cards, if you're able to wait. And that's where we come into, like, if you're able to wait and you're not, emotionally attached, that's where you're going to save the money.
Yeah.
Sure.
Definitely cool. Well, those were about, 8 or 9 things on how to save the most money as possible, guys. The market's killer hot right now. It's very difficult to save money as a buyer, but hopefully you learned at least 1 or 2 kind of sneak attack ways to save some dough in the hot 2019 market.
Buy in the right season if you're looking to save.
Yeah, for sure. Well, for Shawn and for myself, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, we'll see you then.